You're always reachable, always on, always ready to respond, to serve, to fix. And that's exactly why you're stuck. Every time you say yes without thinking, you give away a piece of your time. Every time you respond to a ping, you trade your focus. Every time you agree to help without checking in with yourself first, you drain your own energy, and you don't even notice it happening. Bit by bit, you stop being the architect of your own life. You become a tool in someone else's agenda, and a barrier to your own growth. Being constantly available is a silent trap. You take pride in being reliable, but deep down, you feel drained, like your life's on pause, like your goals always take the backseat. That's not an accident. That's a pattern. Jocko Willink, former Navy SEAL and author of Discipline Equals Freedom, put it simply. Discipline is control. Without control, there is no leadership, not even of yourself. Without discipline, you become a puppet to the outside world. Without control, you're stuck in reaction mode. And without leadership over your own mind, you become a prisoner of your environment. This video is not just a message. It's a wake-up call to recognize what's holding you back, and more importantly, to start building a new structure. One made of clarity, discipline, and decisions that move you forward. Because the freedom you're searching for doesn't come from pleasing everyone. It comes from leading yourself with strength, with purpose, and with zero apologies. You're always reachable, always saying yes, always ready to respond, fix, show up. But the harsh truth is this: the more available you are to the world, the less present you are for yourself, answering everything, showing up for everyone. Living with zero silence, it's single quotes, S the fastest way to lose control over your own life. You become a machine running on external requests, and abandon the only mission that truly matters, to lead yourself with intention and purpose. Jocko Willink said it best: discipline is control. Without control, there is no leadership, not even of yourself. And that's the core of it. If you don't set boundaries, if you don't define your rules, life treats you like a public road anyone can cross. You don't have to disappear from the world, but you do need to reclaim your place inside your own schedule. Carve out moments of intentional silence. Block time to choose where your attention goes, because focus is a choice, and choice is freedom. If this message sparked something in you, if it stirred a thought, or reminded you of a truth you'd forgotten, consider subscribing. That simple gesture helps me keep bringing powerful insights like this to more people. My mission here is simple: to help you rise, not with noise, but with clarity, discipline, and direction. Oh, say yes when you mean no. You take on what's not yours. You swallow discomfort just to avoid creating it. And slowly, quietly, you begin to disappear, all to maintain the illusion of being easy to deal with. But there's a hidden cost. Every time you betray your truth, you weaken your core. Trying to please everyone is just a polite way of self-abandonment. Chasing approval is a losing game. It's unstable, inconsistent, never enough. And the longer you chase it, the further you drift from the only person whose respect really matters, your own. You don't need to be accepted. You need to be dependable to yourself. You need to honor your boundaries, your instincts, your inner truth. And that starts the moment you stop shape-shifting to meet other people's expectations. Self-discipline isn't just about early mornings and workouts. It's about standing up and saying, "This no longer reflects who I am," and walking away, even if it disappoints those who got used to the version of you who always served, always yielded, always smiled. You start the day with focus. With intention. But by midday, your mind is scattered, pulled in 100 directions. Messages, alerts, last-minute tasks, and demands that were never yours to begin with. and by nightfall, it hits you again, exhausted and stuck. That's the price of not knowing how to ignore. Every time you react to something unworthy of your attention, you're training your brain to live in defense mode, and living in defense kills your ability to build, because creation requires depth. And depth demands silence. The world taught you wrong, as if being constantly reachable made you valuable. As if saying yes to everything made you responsible. But Jocko Willink said it clearly. Stop reacting to everything. Choose your battles. Silence is strategy. Being selective isn't selfish. It's self-mastery. When you learn to ignore the noise, you reclaim your energy for what truly matters. You shift from surviving to advancing, from reacting to leading. People think presence is noise. That to be seen, you need to speak louder. Explain yourself. Take up space. But real presence is built in silence. It's the pause between impulse and response. That earns respect. Ever notice how the quiet ones are the ones people lean in to hear? Silence isn't emptiness. It's mastery. Mastery over emotion, over reactivity, over that childlike hunger to be accepted. Unpredictability is power, and no one is harder to predict than the person who controls their timing. Those who explain too much lose ground, but those who wait, observe, and act with precision command respect without saying a word. You don't need to announce your transformation. Just stop justifying yourself. Real change doesn't need a spotlight. It's felt, not declared. And the moment you start doing less and watching more, you begin to earn a quiet kind of power, the kind that doesn't shout, but shakes the room with presence alone. If this message struck a chord, consider subscribing to the channel. It helps me keep delivering truths like this to challenge your thinking, sharpen your focus, and fuel your evolution. Let's build forward, quietly but powerfully. There's a fine line between being helpful and being used, between serving with intention and being drained to the bone. If you're always rescuing everyone, what's left of you? The hero who saves everyone dies first. Because you can't put out someone else's fire while you're burning alive. And if you're the one carrying the whole team on your back, eventually your knees give out. Here's the hard truth. You're not irreplaceable to them, but to yourself, you are. Neglect your own needs, and everything around you begins to collapse. Discipline isn't just about showing up. It's about drawing the line. Every time you say yes without thinking, you're saying no to your health, your goals. Your focused out real support starts when you're whole. And being whole, that requires boundaries. Rebuild your priorities. Audit your commitments. Because being truly valuable doesn't mean always being available. It means being ready. And readiness demands energy. Nothing sabotages your growth more quietly than the habit of measuring yourself against lives that have nothing to do with yours. When you compare your path to someone walking a completely different terrain, frustration always wins, never wisdom. Social media is a curated illusion. It highlights the wins. It hides the war. And the more you scroll, the more you feel like you're falling behind. Even when, in truth, you're moving forward on your own terms, in your own way. Jocko Willink says it clearly. Your only competition is the person you were yesterday. Did you face something today you would have avoided last week? Did you take a step that your old self would have resisted? That's what counts. That's real growth. Here's the shift. Cut the noise. Kill the outside metrics. And every night, ask yourself one question. What did I do today that the old me wouldn't have? Dared to do? That's your scoreboard. That's your evolution measured in truth, not illusion. Every deep transformation begins with absence, not applause, not noise, not being constantly seen. In a world addicted to visibility, Growth hides in the shadows. Real change happens in silence when you unplug, step back, and stop explaining yourself. Disappearing. For a while isn't weakness, it's precision, because it's only in solitude that you hear your real voice. Only in silence do you confront your truths without filters, without distractions, and only in temporary isolation does your identity grow strong enough to stand alone. Jocko, Willink put it best. True strength isn't looking unshaken, it's being unbreakable inside. And that kind of strength? It's forged in silence. When you stop reacting to the world and start shaping yourself. Try this. Choose a time in your day, just one. Turn it all off. No phone. No. Notifications. No audience. Use that space to realign your thoughts, not to remember what actually matters. To become deliberate again. If this message hit home, subscribe to the channel. It helps me keep bringing you the kind of clarity that most people avoid, but that can quietly rebuild your entire life. The mission here is simple. To wake you up from autopilot and help you become your sharpest, strongest, most grounded version. Every deep transformation begins with absence. Applause. Not noise. Not being constantly seen. In a world addicted to visibility. Growth hides in the shadows. Real change happens in silence when you unplug, step back, and stop explaining yourself. Disappearing. For a while isn't weakness. It's precision, because it's only in solitude that you hear your real voice. Only in silence do you confront your truths without filters, without distractions, and only in temporary isolation does your identity grow strong enough to stand alone. Jocko, Willink put it best. True strength isn't looking unshaken, it's being unbreakable inside. And that kind of strength? It's forged in silence. When you stop reacting to the world and start shaping yourself. Try this. Choose a time in your day, just one. Turn it all off. No phone. No. Notifications. No audience. Use that space to realign your thoughts, not to remember what actually matters. To become deliberate again. If this message hit home, subscribe to the channel. It helps me keep bringing you the kind of clarity that most people avoid, but that can quietly rebuild your entire life. The mission here is simple. To wake you up from autopilot and help you become your sharpest, strongest, most grounded version. You became the rock for everyone. Reliable, solid, always composed, but deep down, it's draining you, because no one sees the weight you're silently carrying. And worse, they've come to expect it. Being strong all the time isn't noble. It's self-abandonment dressed as duty. Real strength? It's not about enduring everything. It's knowing what's worth holding on to and having the courage to let the rest fall. Jocko, Willink lives by this. He doesn't act for recognition. He moves. With discipline, because it's necessary. Because discipline isn't performance. It's structure. It's backbone. And maybe it's time you remembered that too. Stop chasing praise. Start chasing consistency. Mental shift. The next time you feel crushed under the weight of everything. Pause. Take a breath. And ask yourself, what truly depends on me? And what am I forcing just to appear unbreakable? When everything collapses around you, the instinct is to ask why. To search for someone to blame. To find meaning in the wreckage. But here's the truth. In the middle of chaos, you don't need answers. You need command. Jocko Willink puts it clearly. Systems fail. Real leaders don't point fingers. They take control. And that starts with you. When your life feels like it's slipping, don't beg the universe for clarity. Build direction with your own hands. Step 1. Wake up. Stand up. Move. Repeat. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait to feel ready. Action creates emotion, not the other way around. Regaining control isn't about having all the pieces. It's about making a decision, no matter what's falling apart. My next step is mine. And when that step becomes a habit, you turn rubble into foundation. Pain into power. Noise into clarity. Because meaning isn't something you find. It's something you forge. Most people wait for the right mood. The perfect weather. The spark of motivation. But high performers? They know better. Motivation is weak. It fades. It lies. And when it disappears, what's left? Your system. Jocko Willink doesn't rely on feeling inspired. He gets up, trains, executes. Every single day. Not because he feels like it, but because it's part of the code. See, results don't come from bursts of emotion. They come from structure repeated, in silence. A system is a decision made in advance. It's knowing what needs to be done, and doing it, even when you're tired, even when your energy is gone. Even when no one's watching, you rise, you gear up like a soldier, and you move. No bargaining. No second guessing. Those who depend on motivation drift. Those who rely on systems, they rise regardless of the weather. So here's the question. What's your war ritual? Do you have a plan for the days when everything fails, including you? Build that plan. Make it untouchable. Because on your darkest days, your system is the only thing that won't betray you. Over-explaining is rarely about clarity. It's a silent cry for approval. And the more you justify yourself, the more obvious it becomes you're trying to convince others of something you don't fully believe yet. If you feel the constant need to explain your limits, your choices, or your silence, maybe you're surrounded by people who can't see your value. Or maybe, just maybe, you haven't given yourself permission to stand firm. Jocko doesn't preach loud. He leads by stance. I'm focused. I can't. That simple phrase carries more weight than 1,000 explanations, because it comes from someone who's chosen their direction and owes nothing to those who refuse to walk beside it. Stop trying to be understood. Start being respected. Those who honor your discipline won't demand your presence. Those who want you to grow won't guilt trip you for stepping away. Focus. Move. And go quiet where there's no longer anyone worth listening to. You weren't born to please. You were born to fulfill a mission. And every minute you spend trying to be understood by people who don't even speak your frequency is a minute stolen from the life you were meant to build. The more you chase acceptance, the more you bend to the mold of a world that doesn't care about your truth. The result? An empty shell dressed as validation. A life that looks polished, yet feels hollow. Jocko puts it plainly. Mission comes before approval. And real leadership begins the moment you're willing to be misunderstood. The ones who changed history weren't adored while building. They were doubted. Dismissed. Disrespected, until the world couldn't ignore their impact any longer. So ask yourself, are you willing to be misread for a while? To be deeply respected for who you truly are? Or will you keep trading your potential for applause that disappears by morning? Purpose doesn't reveal itself in noise. It speaks when you shut out the crowd. And finally listen to your own conviction.